Hello, my name is Hubert Trapdoor Crabsworth, official policy penguin for the Regina Dentata Party. In this video, we will be talking about the middle of the head: affordability, accessibility, and accountability. For too long, our government has operated with a sea of corruption, for which you, the average Canadian consumer, is paying for every day of your life. Under Prime Minister Regina Dentata, this will not happen. The cost of everything from essential goods like designer silk, shampoos, and 8K video cameras, as well as lesser thought of items such as food and shelter, have risen exponentially. Governments of every level, regardless of political affiliation, have failed to curtail the rising costs in relation to general inflation. Prime Minister Dentata's plan lives predominantly through the ideal that people pay what they owe. To do this, Regina Dentata pledges to do the following: enable new corporate restrictions that allow for taxation based on revenue location. Prime Minister Dentata opposes offshore accounts to shirk personal and corporate taxation of the wealthy elite. Prime Minister Dentata believes taxation to be the tugboat of life. Citizens themselves have been paying their fair share for too long, not to be supported by their corporate overlords. Regina Dentata will immediately end corporate loopholes for many corporations by initiating the Robin Hood Protocol, a protocol that employs a team of former accountants, business associates, cyber hackers, and most importantly, ninjas, to review corporate taxation payments over the last 50 years in order to steal, claw back taxations that should have been in the hands of the Canada Revenue Agency as it is. But no previous Prime Minister has had the nuts to do so. This money will be used to help persons with disabilities, persons in low-income situations, and aspiring fashionistas to be all they can be in the new and improved Canada. Further, to appease the Christian market and the middle class, Regina Dentata is proud to enact the banning of stupid, sexy Loki paraphernalia, as the Disney Corporation and Tom Hiddleston has enough of our money and sexy time respectively. This newfound windfall will be used to help public housing and affordable housing markets. Under the new Stupid Sexy Loki Housing Act, which allows us to still say stupid sexy Loki, as it would be pretty stupid to take away the sexy Loki, because my god is it fun to say. I mean seriously, say it right now. Stupid sexy Loki. Ain't it fun? Okay, I'll give you guys 5 seconds to say it for yourselves. Most notably, however, is Regina Dentata's pledge to curb inflation. Many Canadians are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, and as the Death Pixie and Regina Dentata Party are not corporately backed, we are the only choice that will reintroduce the gold standard to curb inflation, whilst also keeping wages in line with inflation. We Canadians deserve a basic standard of living. And in order to accomplish this, Regina Dentata will, on day one, enact legislation that will accomplish the following. Regina will streamline and expand CRA processes to encapsulate all provincial and federal taxes owed. Regina Dentata will also create universal basic income, which will streamline provincial assistance programs whilst ensuring a universal basic standard of living. Instead of applying to 3 basic programs such as OW and ODSP, the universal basic income will immediately begin upon a person turning 18 and continue until retirement. You may make more over and above this, but this is what we feel is a universal standard of living. And we hear you, persons with disabilities. Medical expenses are a paramount concern. You can apply for a medical permit or proviso for medical equipment, transportation, etc. In a medical card, that will make your transportation and medical costs $0 in line with your disability. We will also create a universal aesthetic standard, meaning that Canada can not only be true north, strong and free, but feel as beautiful and vibrant as the citizens within it. Regina also supports the following legislation. Regina supports the building of tiny homes in many of Canada's most impoverished areas to combat a homelessness epidemic. Regina will reenact and extend the rent and eviction freeze afforded to Canadians from 2020 to extend to 2030. Regina will create 25,000 new jobs in the construction sector through the Only Corporate Assholes and Their Buddies Left Behind grant to stimulate the building of new tiny homes in Canada. Jobs will scale to population and individual need. Regina will also begin planning the Tango with Trudeau incident, wherein Regina will dance the tango with former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau upon his visits to Ottawa, getting extremely saucy pictures, which she will then release to the internet if he does not comply with her demands. In doing so, Dentata hopes to convince Trudeau into becoming the meme god we need him to be, potentially by exploring Ivanka Trump? You know exactly what we mean. The tabloid revenue gained from this venture will immediately go to hard-working Canadian taxpayers. But that is not the only thing we're planning to do. We're planning to enact the Wage, Rate, or WANG program, wherein Canadian citizens, but especially property owners and property renters, may have a choice of one of three rewards for the incompetence of previous administrations. Wage, wherein Conservative Party members, both federal and provincial, agree to pay an Ontario citizen a lump sum of $2,080 or $1 per 40 working hours per 52 weeks on the spot as an apology for clawing back the minimum wage. Rates, wherein Conservative Party members, both federal and provincial, will be forced under penalty of being hung at the gallows to pay for any apartment or insurance rate increases incurred due to the COVID-19 pandemic and incredible inflation pandemic for a place of residence. You must provide a rental agreement in order to take advantage of rate. Finally is WANG, wherein you may elect yourself or new overlord Regina Dentata to kick the Conservative Party member, federal or provincial, of your choice in the penis. Note, because Regina loves Canada, she has agreed to indeed wear a high-heeled boot. Finally, rest assured that we will uphold the Carney promise to axe the consumer carbon tax. However, we want it known that our environment needs to be protected. Therefore, we will be increasing the corporate carbon tax payment to 10,000% of its original amount. And if those corporate assholes think they can pass it on to you, they will be sadly mistaken, because Regina Dentata will sue them into the ground! Into the ground! They think they can get up for good behavior? Oh, fuck no! We're gonna lock them all up! We're going to lock them all up and throw away the key! Even their grandchildren will never be able to recognize them! Corporate violators of our environment will not be easily forgiven under this new regime. Thank you so much for listening, and join me in our next part where we will go over accountability. I'm Trapdoor Crabsworth. Thank you so much for listening.